So we've got some siding going on at the copper Bluff, which is always a good thing to see some finished products going on. We got all of our windows in. It's looking good. So our bib system insulation is also getting installed today, started yesterday, and the chimney is going in for the wood stove. So lots of stuff happening here today. Okay, so the insulation in the walls here at Copper Bluff is done. We did a bib system. Typically we end up doing a lot of spray foam in our projects, but it didn't really fit into the budget on this. So we did a little bit of a mix. So we did a bib system in the wall, which is a blown in batting fiberglass system. And we covered that with a 6mm poly vapor barrier. So it's about as good as we can get for what we had to work with. We also did the sills, box sills, and joist cavities were spray foamed just to be done with. It's pretty difficult to do other ways to insulate that other than just spray foaming, because then you have your vapor barrier and insulation all in one. So we got all the walls, and then we're gonna wait for the ceilings, the flat ceiling upstairs, until drywall is hung, and that'll be blown in. But here in the vaulted area, we had, just because of how steep the pitch is, it's a 12 pitch, so it's at a 45-degree angle. And the manufacturer doesn't recommend blowing fiberglass over a 6 pitch. So this area that's all vaulted had to be batted. And they went double thick, so it's still an R50. And we have R25 in the walls with this system in case you're worried about R value. In this area, without re-looking it up, I'm pretty sure it's R19 is what code is in the walls. So hit it plus some. In the garage, as you can see, I'll put up a little graphic of the house, but half of the garage has living space above it, but we're not insulating in the garage right now, and so the floor system needed to be insulated, and we did not do a vapor barrier there because the vapor barrier would be to the cold side, and so we're gonna vapor barrier paint on the subfloor in the living area upstairs that's above this, so that the vapor barrier is on the warm side. But this was 24-inch deep floor trusses, and we just blew it full. So that's nice and toasty. Here's a little bit more of a close up of, so this is a vapor barriers wall here, but this is a reinforced poly to keep the shape, hopefully, of the pitch of the roof so that it can get drywalled. And you can see, hopefully up in there, you can see where now we transition to flat ceiling, and that'll be blown in after the drywall is in. And we have some cotton candy over in the closet where our scuttle hole is. And those will be another spot where we're gonna spray foam is around the scuttle hole, because we built that up by 24 inches or so. So you can see this is going to end up being, it's not a can light, it's a disc light, one of those LED discs. And what we're gonna end up doing is putting a box over the top of it once the drywall is in, and we'll seal that up, because I don't want to have a big 6-inch hole in our vapor barrier and insulation and stuff like that, to put that disc light up in there. So that's another spot that we're just having them air seal around there, and that'll take care of that, so I don't have to worry about that. It's strangely quiet when you're talking in here. It used to echo a lot. And then once the drywall's on, then it'll start echoing it again until we have some furniture in here, and then it won't echo again. So another thing I wanted to just hit on quick was some of the air sealing details, because of how we're building now and trying to do a lot of air sealing and making these houses very tight. Part of what we need to do is let the house breathe. And so in this house in particular, because it's not completely spray foamed, we don't need a whole house air exchanger necessarily. And so what we have is, it's a dampered fresh air intake for the furnace. But the other thing that I was gonna point out, both top and bottom on this, so we have our vapor barrier that comes down, and then it's sealed down to the bottom here, right onto that bottom plate and kind of at the transition where it goes to the subfloor, so that seals that. Plus we had glued our plates down, so that's double sealed. And this is sealed up here at our double top plate as well. You can kind of see through the plastic a little bit there. And at all of our double stud locations, those all get sealed too behind there with some caulk. And inside corners, so there's, even though we don't have the full spray foam detail in here, we still have what we can as far as air sealing to be able to try to make the house as tight as we can. So the last thing, little thing that we had spray foamed were our headers. You can see where that's more blue and that's more white cotton candy. And headers can be a difficult area to insulate if you're not spray foaming, and it's just a lot easier. This one, they flashed it with, was it 1.5 inches or something like that for air seal around the headers. So that we got going on too. This is our first time trying Versetta stone, the name brand, and we're trying to decide how perfect to make it and how hard to make it on ourselves, trying to make it look good. I wouldn't say we're necessarily riding the struggle bus yet, but it's getting there. These two little sections were no problem, but now we're going into an inside corner, and then we have an outside corner, so we'll see how those work out. So we have most of the stone on, just a little bit around the front door. That needs to be done once we have a front door to go around. And Charlie is around the back side. More siding. Right? Hey Bobby, look, I'm gonna be famous on YouTube. Looks like it. We have drywall going in too.